Hi girls and boys. Today we're going to be looking at Standard 2.6, the Informational Standard, where we look to see how illustrations can help us as we read a text. The standard says that I can use the illustrations and details in a text to describe its key ideas. In order to do this, I will need to know what is an illustration, how do I find details in a text, and what is the key idea of a text? To do this, we're going to use this page from a nonfiction text. The subtitle says, Properties of Matter. The text says, matter has properties. A property is one part of what something is like. Is the bike you like red or is it blue? Is it big or small? What is the shape of the seat? Color, size, and shape are all properties of matter. Now, for this standard, I need to think of those three questions. First of all, what is an illustration? Well, an illustration is a picture or drawing in the text. This illustration on this page is of a notebook and pencils. The caption tells me that the pencils and the book are both made of matter, but their properties are different. The next thing I need to think about is how do I find the details in a text? Well, a detail is any fact the text explains. A detail on this page is that color, size, and shape are all properties of matter. The last question I need to think about is what is the key idea of a text? The key idea in a text is the main point the author wants you to remember. The key idea in this text is that matter has properties. Now, how can I use the illustrations and details in this text to describe the key ideas? Well, remember, the key idea is that matter has properties. And I can see in the illustration, and I read in the text, that color, size, and shape are all properties of matter. I can see the different colors, sizes, and shapes in the illustrations. So the illustrations and the key detail in the text help support the key idea that matter has properties. Let's try it in a different part of the text. This text is subtitled Types of Motion. It says, everything has a position or location. What is your position? You may be sitting at your desk. If you stand up and walk across the room, you are in motion. Motion is a change of position. When you sit down again, you are no longer changing position. You are no longer in motion. Now, the illustrations I see on this page are a picture of a boy on a swing, and it's labeled by saying back and forth motion. That shows me that this swing is in a back and forth motion. This picture is labeled straight line motion, and it shows that there is one motion moving down. Here are more illustrations and more text. The illustrations show more motions. This is a zigzag motion. This is a round and round motion. And this is labeled with a fast motion and a slow motion. The text says, there are many kinds of motion. An object can keep moving in one direction. It can change directions too. It can move fast or slowly. Look at the pictures. How are the children moving? How do you move on a playground? Now, when I think of these two pictures, and I think about the extra information that I get from the pictures and captions that are not in the text, The text told me that there are many kinds of motion, but it didn't tell me what those motions might be. The illustrations, however, all show the different kinds of motions that there may be. Zigzag, round and round, back and forth, straight line. All of these illustrations give me information. The text also gave me several different details. Details like there are many kinds of motion. Details that said motion that objects can change directions, or they can move fast or slow. Now, again, I need to think of the key idea for this section. And I think the key idea for this section is all about the types of motion and the fact that motion is a change of position. So if my illustrations show me that motion changes by moving back and forth, or by moving straight down, or by moving in a zigzag, that helps to support the key idea that motion is a change of position. The details that when you move from sitting down to standing, that is a motion. The details that motions can change directions. All of these are details that support that main key idea, the key idea that motion is a change of position. By using the illustrations and using the details in the text, I can find support for that key idea, and it helps me to remember and understand what it is I need to learn from the text.